Can we try and get back again? Please.
No members of the royal family, including King Charles, will speak to Prince Harry or Meghan Markle at all. All contact has been cut.
Oh, let me tell you, the atmosphere around Buckingham Palace, it has completely shifted. It's got that icy final chill to it, the kind that you just know means something serious has gone down. For months, everyone's been whispering and speculating, and now it's no longer whispers. It's real. King Charles has actually finally cut off Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And with that one powerful, calculated move, the oh-so-secret Project Thaw, the king's big, hopeful plan to patch things up with his runaway son, has been completely shattered. Poof, gone.
Close personal friend of Queen Camilla has just revealed that no members of the royal family, including King Charles, will speak to Prince Harry or Meghan Markle at all. All contact has been cut. According to Piers, a royal insider who you'll also remember hangs out quite a bit with Beatrice and Eugenie.
For so long, the palace insiders were giving us this hopeful reconciliation fairy tale. They'd paint Charles as this peace-loving, gentle father, carefully crafting a behind-the-scenes plan to bring Harry and Meghan back into the royal fold. And they even gave it a cute, symbolic name, Project Thaw, because it was supposed to melt all that icy tension that built up after that infamous Oprah interview. But guess what? Instead of melting the ice, it practically set off a royal blizzard. The plan blew up in Charles's face. He ended up frustrated, William was absolutely livid, and Harry, more isolated than ever. Honestly, it's the royal family's version of a soap opera, so let's rewind and get into how it all started. It all began earlier this year, when King Charles, in what palace aides described as this rare moment of paternal vulnerability, did something completely unexpected. He personally reached out to Harry, and not through his secretaries, not through those stuffy palace couriers. No, this was with a handwritten letter. He wanted, in his own words, to draw a line under the past. It was supposed to be an olive branch, simple, private, and heartfelt. The king's dream, a quiet little family meeting at Balmoral or Windsor. No cameras, no PR circus, just father and son. But of course, in the world of Harry and Meghan, nothing stays private for long. And as one royal courtier told The Times, everything Charles does privately somehow ends up in California. And that's exactly what happened. Weeks later, Meghan casually dropped hints on a podcast that Harry had gotten some unexpected communication from his family. And boom, the internet went up in flames. Royal reporters started connecting dots like detectives at a crime scene. Private family healing turned into public gossip overnight. And for Charles, that was the breaking point. That's the moment everything started to unravel.
Was deliberately trying to hurt his father. He was saying things which he really knew would be painful.
Sources close to the king say he was absolutely humiliated and furious. He'd believed his private effort to mend things was being used as a PR prop. When Meghan hinted at that letter, any little bit of trust Charles had just evaporated. And here's the thing, the palace had already been split on Project Thaw. William, especially, had been against it from the start. He kept warning his father, this will backfire. They'll use it, and then the letter leaked, proving him right. William's anger was next level. According to palace sources, William told Charles point blank, "You've tried compassion. It failed. Now it's time for consequences." And oh, did consequences follow. Fast and silent, no press conference, no royal statement, just the kind of quiet, ruthless precision the monarchy is famous for. First move, Charles reportedly had the royal accountants pull the plug on any remaining financial support for Harry and Meghan's UK-related staff and perks. Frogmore Cottage was already reclaimed earlier this year, but this time it went deeper. Even minor expenses like security coordination, transportation, and clerical support, gone. It was, in the words of one insider, the last tether cut. But then came the move that really stung. The palace quietly went into the family's internal documents and removed Harry and Meghan from a handful of ceremonial and trust-based roles. Positions that had been kept out of respect. It wasn't loud, it wasn't announced, it was subtle, surgical. The monarchy doesn't yell when it cuts ties, it whispers, and those whispers are deadly. And yet, behind those castle walls, Charles wasn't stomping around. He was heartbroken. Friends have always said he's emotionally fragile when it comes to his kids. He genuinely hoped Project Thaw would bring Harry back, even in a smaller role. But that dream was gone. In the aftermath of the leak, Charles went from patient father to cold monarch. "I will not have my family made a spectacle again," he reportedly told his inner circle. And honestly, That one sentence changed the entire royal landscape. Camilla and William, they were relieved. Camilla, who's always had that quiet skepticism toward Harry, told friends Charles should have done this long ago. William, he wasn't just relieved, he felt vindicated.
You say her work, but we're not hearing the royal family owe us. The royal family should apologize. The royal family need to do this. The royal family need to do that. We've stopped hearing that. And I think, that's a massive positive from that side. And I think that's come from Prince Harry's meeting that he had with the king when he was here.
So what made Charles finally pull the trigger? Well, multiple palace insiders say it was a scandal brewing around Harry and Meghan's independent ventures. Apparently, the palace caught wind of whispers that the Sussexes were trying to use their royal connection to secure big overseas deals in Hollywood and Europe. One source told the Daily Mail the king didn't want the monarchy turned into a marketing tool, and when those whispers became reports, Charles saw it as the final straw. The man who spent his entire life defending the institution wasn't going to let it be used as brand currency. So the order went out, cut all ties, financial, symbolic, logistical, everything. Invitations pulled, coordination over. And perhaps the most brutal part, Harry wasn't even invited to a small private family event celebrating the king's recovery. That's when everyone knew. This wasn't an oversight, this was deliberate.
I'm out from the royal family, and his father treats him like he's out of the royal family.
Meanwhile, across the ocean in Montecito, Harry and Meghan were said to be completely shaken. Meghan reportedly saw the move as the palace trying to punish them for their independence. But Harry, according to people close to him, it wasn't anger on his face, it was loss. One friend told Page 6, "There's no coming back from this one." And honestly, they're right. When the monarchy cuts you off, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's exile. Polite, formal, permanent.
Sussex were once the darlings of the nation.
The British tabloids are already calling it the Great Severance. Inside the palace, they refer to it more carefully. The end of the experiment. Charles had tried compassion, distance, and even secret diplomacy. But the Sussex saga proved what so many courtiers feared all along. You can't negotiate peace with people who profit from the war. And for the first time in years, the royal family is united on one thing: moving on without Harry and Meghan. That's the real gut punch. And the saddest part? According to one longtime aide, Charles still keeps that handwritten letter he sent Harry tucked in his desk at Clarence's house. He reread it recently, and then quietly, he locked it away for good. Because in the royal world, when trust dies, it doesn't fade. It gets buried, deep, under centuries of royal protocol. And that's how Project Thaw died. Not in a warm hug, but in a royal freeze. The fallout was immediate. Emails from Meghan's team that once got polite palace replies, now total silence. Invitations to royal events, gone. Their names were literally wiped off the active family list. And palace insiders have been blunt. It's not spite, it's protection. The palace had finally decided to shield itself from the endless media circus that always seemed to follow the Sussexes. No more private royal matters becoming Netflix content. No more podcast soundbites turning into royal scandals. And the real nail in the coffin? Meghan's team allegedly began pitching a forgiveness and family media project. The palace saw it as turning Charles's olive branch into a storyline. That was it. Game over. After the severance, reports say Harry tried reaching out privately, but this time he wasn't talking to P, his dad, he was talking to the king. Aides allegedly informed him His Majesty had no further comment. Imagine that. The man who raised you, now treating you like a reporter on the outside. And of course, the press had a field day. Headlines everywhere screamed, "Charles says enough. Harry cut off for good." But Meghan's reaction? Oh, it was fiery. Insiders in California say Meghan took the royal freeze as a personal attack. She vented to friends, claiming the palace was trying to starve them into silence. But here's the brutal truth. Hollywood didn't see it that way. A PR exec told Variety, the Sussex brand was built on the illusion of access. And when Charles slammed that door, that illusion crumbled. The glitzy invites, the brand deals, the soft power they had started evaporating. Even Netflix began to quietly cool off. Without fresh royal content, their big-ticket appeal was fading. Back at their Montecito mansion, tensions were reportedly boiling. Harry, feeling isolated, allegedly blamed Meghan for oversharing their private lives. Meghan, in turn, believed the palace was waging psychological warfare. She's used to controlling the narrative, one insider explained. But this time, she can't control it, and that's driving her absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, in London, Charles has gone completely silent. Not out of cruelty, but exhaustion. He's focusing on the crown now, on his duties, his legacy, and on strengthening his bond with William. Ironically, the collapse of Project Thaw has brought father and heir closer than ever. And the palace's new strategy? Simple. Move forward. Don't look back. One of Charles's final gestures before shutting the door, he quietly had aides send a small parcel to Montecito. Old letters and family photos Harry had left behind. No note, no message, just closure. And Meghan, oh, she's not letting it go easily. She's reportedly huddling with PR strategists, trying to rebuild her image as the misunderstood outsider. But here's the twist. The public isn't buying it anymore. Social media has turned on her. Every project is met with eye rolls. Every quote about healing or growth gets picked apart. Even her old Hollywood allies are quietly stepping back, because when the king cuts you off, everyone else follows. Harry's trapped too. If he attacks his father, he looks heartless. If he defends the palace, he looks weak. So he's stuck in limbo. Emotionally, financially, and publicly. One royal biographer summed it up perfectly. Harry thought he could have one foot in and one foot out, but now he's standing in the cold wondering where the door went. And that's the icy, brutal truth. Project Thaw, once Charles's tender, fragile dream to mend his family, is officially dead. He finally realized something that should have been clear all along. You can't make peace with people who build empires out of chaos. So Charles chose duty over drama, legacy over love. The palace is steady. William's standing taller beside his father. The monarchy is moving on. And Harry and Meghan? They're sitting oceans away, watching the life they walked away from fade like a royal portrait in a locked gallery. The bridges are gone. The olive branches turn to ash. And the king? He's done reaching across the flames. Because the cold, unshakable truth of Project Thaw is this: you can't melt hearts that thrive on the cold.